So sieve number 2. There are 2 ways to counteract the effect of the presence of the filth without removing it from the area. One applies to both excrement and urine, and one to urine alone. Okay, so basically, we have to understand. So until very recently, I don't know, like 60 years ago, 70 years ago, in America at least. So, but in all other countries, they would go to the bathroom in a in a bedpan, right? So, and especially children. So this would stay in the house until they have time to go outside and basically spill it out. You understand? So it was very not uncommon to have these things in your house. So today is when when you have young children, then walking in diapers. So it's it's very like a common thing, right? Okay, so let's see what can we do. Even for one who thinks sacred matters, for example, thinking Torah thoughts in a place where the excrement or urine or anything that emits foul odor is forbidden until he covers it, right? So until at least he has to cover it. And as the verse states in Dvarim, and you shall cover your excrement. Okay, so commentary number 5. In general, this refers to odor that most people would find offensive. So as we said before, it's excrement, of course, and urine, of course, but also some other things, right? I don't know, maybe like you have bones of fish in your garbage pail, like I don't know, from yesterday, right? And they start to smell. So it's most of the people would find it offensive. Okay, so number 6. We learn from this verse that although the filth is still within the camp, there is the person's vicinity. Okay, he is permitted to engage in sacred matters there as long as the filth is covered, and he cannot smell the foul odor. That's very interesting. So cover. So they're in the Torah said that you have to dig a hole and then cover it. So basically, if he covered it and there is no smell, there is no problem. Okay. Or with regard to urine, he may engage in sacred matters in the presence after putting the VEs or water into the urine of one discharge. So if, for example, he went one time, so he has to put VEs, and it says here between 2.9 and 5.1 fluid ounces. So okay. So that's exactly what we use for Kiddush. That's what we learned in another book. That's what we use for Kiddush, which is not a lot, but it dilutes enough this urine halachically not to be considered urine. Of course, if there is no smell. Okay. And if he went there a few times, so like as many times as he went, he has to dilute with this with water. Okay, commentary. Provided number 8, providing that the urine came from a single act of urination, any amount of urine can be negated by release of water. So, of course, it's not diluted completely, but halachically, it's not considered urine any longer. Although it is biblically prohibited to engage in sacred matters in the presence of excrement, there is no biblical prohibition to do so in the presence of standing urine that does not emit the foul odor, as we said. Okay, so basically you don't even have to cover. Of course, we cover, but we don't have, but in a case of need. I'm talking about case of need. While the urine can still cause a rabbinic prohibition, the sages ordain that if it does not emit the foul odor, it can be rendered permitted through this method of dilution. See Mishnah Berurah. Okay. So if they say you can, so, or maybe somebody in a bungalows, I don't know, colony, maybe they don't have bathroom, whatever happened, in a cabin somewhere, I don't know. Okay. So continue. It makes no difference whether the urine was in a receptacle first and then water was added, or whether the water was in a receptacle first. So it doesn't the sequence of event does not make any difference. Commentary number 9. For further discussion, see appendix of Kitzur editorial glosses. Okay. Either way, the water is effective. Okay. However, if the urine was in a designated receptacle, such as urinal, diluting it with water does not affect this permit, and will be explained in Siv 13. So I'm not sure what they're talking about this urinal. I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to explain later on. Okay, to negate the urine that came from 2 acts of urination, 2 reviews of water is required, as we said. So it's like very straightforward, and so on. So commentary number 10, there is 3 reviews of 3 acts of urination. Okay. Even if the urine was absorbed in the ground or in a cloth, as long as there is still some moisture from the urine. So I'm not sure, maybe if they are outdoors and he went next to his tent, right? So he would need to pour some water if it's still moist. So commentary 11, but only if it is that is wet enough that something which touches will be able to moisture the third object. So basically, this is definition of being moist. So, and we're going to use this this definition very often. So basically, if you want to know, so we're not talking about urine, but we're talking about some other things. For example, if you want to know this paper towel, for example, if it's moist, halachically. So with your own eyes, you see there is water, right? It's not dry, right? So, but you want to know if halachically it is moist or not. So if it's so, what does it make the difference? So if it's moist, so maybe it's a muktzah and you cannot touch it. If it's not moist, so even though it is a little wet, right? So you can touch it and use it for whatever you want. So the way to check it, so you touch with your finger, for example, you touch this paper towel and touch another place, for example, your table with the same finger, and see if there is a wet spot on your table. So if it is a wet spot, it means that paper towel is moist. If not, so it's not moist. Even though it is wet, but halachically it's not moist. Okay. One must pour water before engaging in sacred manner. So we say if it's he went like next to his tent, so he just have to add the water, and now he can start praying or do whatever he needs to do. Commentary number 12. In this case, however, release of water is not necessary as long as he pours some water on every place that has significant moisture. See the previous note. Okay, so now, since the urine is not staying there, right? It got absorbed by the ground. So they say you need the release of water. Just a little water would be like enough, like symbolically. And the next note 13, it says regarding the application of this halacha on Shabbos when laundering is prohibited. It's very interesting. So one of the forbidden activities on Shabbos, Halachah, is we can do laundry. We cannot do laundry. So basically, if somebody did urinated on his I don't know, on some cloth or whatever on his garment, so he cannot soak it in the water. That's the problem. Okay.
Okay, so you should just leave it for after Shabbos.
Yes. So other things, I mean, that's learning for another day and another.